On seniors and veterans will come to order. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Hattis. Present. Commissioner Baidoon.
Present.
Commissioner Baker McCormick. Here. Chair Scott.
Present.
You have a quorum present.
Thank you. Now, Chair, there is no remarks from me.
C, approval of the minutes from December 5th, 2019 meeting.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
It's been moved and supported. Any corrections or anything? Hearing none, we'll move on.
New business.
Did we vote on it? Okay, I'm sorry. All, all of those in support?
Aye.
All right,
Motion carries.
passes. Next item, please.
New business. Item D1, general update and review of top priorities from the Department of Senior Services from Lisa Wilmore Davis, Department Director.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, Mrs. Davis is here. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here to give us an update, and I know you've been doing some good things. It just mentioned earlier today at the meeting, and I intended to help you with some of those cars, but I just couldn't get down there where you were having it at.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
but thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you. Again, it's a pleasure to be before you today. And I wanted to just share with you, it's day 104 for my service here at the county, and our team at Senior Services has really, really hit the ground running. Just to give you a brief overview of what I've been up to, I've had the opportunity to meet with some of the folks that we serve in our halal program, visiting them at their home, as well as those who participate in our general nutrition program, and then also touring the facilities of where our meal is put together and created for it to be transferred out to the community. I've been quite impressed with the function. We have a great volunteer model here in Wayne County. Working with my team, we're looking at how do we protect that model, because the average age of a volunteer of our program is around 70, 75, and so we're concerned that if we don't have a new influx of volunteers to help us serve and continue this model, it'll be difficult. So we're looking at succession and how do we also make sure that our volunteer corps is diverse and reflects the county that we are blessed to serve. So I wanted to just quickly give our overview of two of the initiatives that we have launched in the Senior Services Department. You may have seen it on your Wayne County e-communication. Have a heart, give a heart. If I may, Madam Chair, can I pass out this handout
certainly.
right quickly?
He'll get it for you.
Thank you.
Just before you get started on that, how do you plan to get the message out to get some new volunteers?
Well, working with community organizations, we will plan later on this year to have kind of like a volunteer recruitment fair. And have it in strategic parts across the county, so that, because you don't have to live in the community that you're delivering to. So it's an important aspect of our program, and volunteers help us to make it work. Right. Because other programs around the state and in this area, they use more of a paid delivery service for the dinner or the lunch. And the problem with that, or I won't say problem, let me see how I want to phrase it correctly. I'll just say this. Our model allows our participants to get a human touch. Someone who is going to come in and just take a quick scan and say, how are you doing today? Have conversation. Sadly, a lot of the older adults that we serve, they don't see anyone else but their volunteer every day. And I also had our team to pull a aging report, meaning how old our residents or not our residents, but our participants. We have in the Meals on Wheels home delivered program, probably over 20 or 30 people who are 95 and higher living at home on their own and alone. And then that main corpus of age group is probably high 70s to your mid 80s, and they're living alone. And so we want to make sure that we keep that to diminish isolation. Research shows that people who are isolated and don't receive contact from others, it diminishes their health outcomes. So just think of a plant. If a plant receives no light or air or oxygen, it's going to wither. Same thing with a human. So that interaction is that light and that feeding. We give them a nutritious physical meal, but that volunteer touch adds to it. And so the project, the Have a Heart, Give a Heart, we wanted to add something. We wanted also, this is a two-prong approach with this project. We wanted to touch our older adults, and we wanted to touch them in a culturally competent way. So working with Access and with Wayne State University, we have Arabic, Spanish, and there was another language, Arabic, Spanish, and Asian languages designed on the handcrafted heart. It's simple. It's like really simple. You bend a piece of paper in half, you may put a pretty heart on it or a color on it or whatever, but put a warm message inside, and you would be surprised the joy that will bring. So we are working, our goal is 5,000. Even though we don't serve 5,000, our intention is to share those overflow with DAAA so that people, even though we don't serve them because that is not our grantee, but those older adults who are homebound, who receive Meals on Wheels through DAAA will receive Wayne County Hearts too, because I feel like it's all Wayne County, even though I am defined and contained inside of the 34 cities. But I wanted to have a special sensitivity to make sure that folks in Detroit, Highland Park, Hamtramck, who receive homebound meals, even though they are served by DAAA, we at Wayne County Senior Services wanted to address and make sure that they knew Wayne County loved them as well.
Well, great. I'm glad that you are working with them, because according to DAAA, the major concern for seniors is companionship.
Right, right. And they have a different model. I know I'm not here to talk about their model, but they have a different model than we have. And Ron Taylor and I, we have a commitment. We meet monthly.
Oh, okay.
So we're working on our date for February, but he and I meet monthly because he and I both feel that we have to work together because Detroit is Wayne County, and we will work in a way that I would never do anything to, infringe upon his programs, but he also understands that sometimes some of the events that we will have in Detroit, in the Wayne County Senior Services Department, will come into that area because that's Wayne County.
Good. Well, I'm glad you two are meeting like that and sharing.
Yeah, he has some great ideas as well that he's about to launch, and we hope to help him. For example, they want to begin a halal program, and I shared with him, you need to work with us because we've had a halal program for years, since '04, I think. Correct me if I'm mistaken, and we're one of the only programs in the state that has a halal program, so they can have lessons learned from working with us and let us assist them as they build out their program.
Okay. Well, in Hamtramck, that's probably where he needs to have the halal program.
I will give him a note and let him know that you said that.
Yes. Yeah, because I had not thought about, I was thinking that DAAA, that our senior program did Hamtramck and Highland Park.
No.
But no, DAAA does them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But he and I, we're going to work through it. So this program not only, again, brings the compliment to the meal and the touch of love and compassion, but it also educates the community that we have this program. A lot of people don't know that there is a Meals on Wheels program outside of our colleagues at DAAA. So that's why this is a two-prong approach to increase our engagement and awareness of others across the county and other spaces that Wayne County has a program that we serve over 3,000 meals every day, and that there's an opportunity for you to support it as well as participate through volunteerism and other things. So that's the reason that one of the things I've been working with the communications team here, I proposed a communications plan for our department. Awareness, education, and information, and also telling our story where we're telling the story, not the story being told from someone else's perspective.
All right, well, thank you so much. Commissioner Hades?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I really appreciate the information. It seemed to me like a lot of positive
You got
things
your speak-
happening. I really feel we not sending enough message out to the outside county. So is there any area you don't service in Wayne County, or it's all over the county? Except, I know you said Hamtramck and some of them served by somebody else.
No, we serve every city with the exception of Detroit, Highland Park, Hamtramck, and the Points.
Okay.
And Harper Woods. I forgot.
Excellent.
Yes. So we have 40 congregate meal sites that are spread as far as Grosse Ile all the way up to,
Iran,
Yep.
Van Meeren, okay.
Yep.
In the brochure, you said you have in color and 3-4 different language.
yeah, we have the
Yeah,
people.
is that possible for the commissioner to have a sample of that sent to us?
Absolutely.
Because if we need to share some of the thing we doing to the community we serve, each commissioner could take copy and make a copy of those, take it with him when he go to the senior citizen luncheon or that. And then if we could be provided, Madam the Chair, and some of that activity Mrs. Davis working on, it's a great job, you're doing a good job.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe we could include some of it in our newsletter, because every commissioner have a newsletter. We, in the past, we didn't promote too much what we do for the senior citizen or what's available,
Yes.
not what's available to them. So we need to bring that out through the newsletter we send. So, thank you.
Very good. No, thank you. Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Ms. Davis, for coming and presenting to us today. A question about the volunteers, and you said your efforts in getting more volunteers. Is there a vetting process in that, and what does that look like
Yes.
currently?
Yes, yes, that's a great question, and thank you. There's a very serious vetting process. They go through a background check. They go through a background check that checks against the sexual assault, sexual crimes list. They go through a check through the sheriff's department, as well as if they have certain crimes in their past, they just won't be eligible to be a volunteer. And that is a process that has been in place and is also federally mandated, as my understanding, due with the grant that we receive. You have, and then TSA, which is the Senior Alliance, who is our fiduciary of the grant, they have requirements that we have to meet with that as well. So they are true, and it's often, that's a task that is not taken lightly. It's constantly checked. So it's not you get checked one time and then you're not checked again. Every year, and then there are random times throughout the year that our team will run all the volunteers' background to make sure that they are still compliant.
So who does the vetting?
Our team
Okay.
Joan Servakis, Maisha Haddon, our team there in the department.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
working with law enforcement.
very good.
Yep, the last piece that if I
Because
may.
I stopped you earlier, so
That's
you
okay.
can get back to yours.
I love being brief. My last piece that I'm really excited about is because in my first 90 days, I did a lot of listening. I'm continuing to listen. I'm looking forward to meeting with all of the commissioners on the commission, especially those who serve on this task force. But people wanted information. Bringing and then aligning it with Mr. Evans, no wrong door, and making sure that everyone knows what the county can offer them, and also information that they need. So we have congregate meal sites. Is everyone familiar with a congregate meal site? It's like you going to have lunch with folks who live in your community at a senior center or a church or a location where it's like a family style meal that we provide. So we provide the Meals on Wheels at your home for those who cannot come out. And then we have the congregate meal site where it's like you and 20 of your friends that you get to know come and have a meal. And again, that breaks down isolation. So if you're still able to get out and move around, we want to encourage that. And that is a good thing because that helps you continue being active in the activities of daily living by going to having this nutritious meal. And you might live alone, but you're still able to drive and get out. So at the congregate meal site, they receive their meal buffet style, as well as they get to they create friendships and connections with those who attend the congregate meal. So I felt that that was a great space where people are already convening. They meet every day, Monday through Friday, to have their congregate meal together. So we already have an audience built in, but this is an opportunity to give them vital information that's going on in the community. So since this is a time of the year where a lot of older adults are scammed, they're getting phone calls at their house saying their IRS is, their social security number is invalid, and all the types of spooky things that happen on the phone, especially if you're living at home alone, that you can fall victim to. So we're having these mini education series sessions. So what that is 30 minutes, because people really want to chat and be social at congregate meals. They don't want someone coming in giving them a heavy lecture, but they do want information. So it's confined to about 30 minutes, and we launched it on January 23rd. The first one was at the Romulus Senior Center. We have 2 more scheduled for this first wave. It's as a test pilot to see how things go. It will be in Sumter, and then the other Sumter on the 25th, and Belleville on the 27th. And those are congregate meal sites. And the response that we got on the 23rd from the evaluations was really nice. Folks said they want these type of things. They want to receive this kind of information. So we had Wayne State University, who's partnering with us they have a SAFE program. Have any of you heard of Wayne State University's SAFE program? It's a program through the Institute of Gerontology where they talk about how not to be a victim of scams. And if you have, Wayne State has the funding to help you work through getting your identity corrected and all those things. So we didn't want to bring forth information with not other resources to help people sort through those problems. And on the 23rd, there was a gentleman there who had become a victim of a fraud, and they were able to connect with him and help get him the support he needed to help him correct all of the things that have happened to him since his identity was compromised. So the first wave will have the scam information and fraud protection because of the season that we're in. And I'm really excited to share that my colleague, Kwesi Betsarai, did I say it right? Great. I've been practicing. He is going to be our next wave of information, because not only do we want to have external partners, because, I'm a big believer that we can't do everything by ourselves. We need other folks and their expertise, but also this is a prime opportunity for folks to know these resources are provided by Wayne County, and your government is here to help you and will come to you, and this will allow him to be able to share all the great things and resources that veterans has to offer. They may not be a veteran, but they may know someone who's a veteran. I noticed on the 23rd, several of the gentlemen there had the veteran hats on, saying U.S. veteran or U.S. Marine veteran. So I was like, okay, even if they don't need them, they can go and share them with folks that they know. And as you all know, older adults can be the best advocate of getting information out to the community. They just need to be empowered with the information. So the reason that we're doing these mini educational sessions, and they'll go throughout the year, they will hit every single congregate meal site. And I'm going to work with the external relations team to figure out how we can do a quasi session in the cities where we don't have congregate meal sites. So that goes back into that line of demarcation between folks who have, because DAAA has its own congregate meal sites too. But what we would do to make sure that folks on that part of Wayne County who are not served by the Meals on Wheels, because that's the indicator of where we're going to go, I will make sure that we find strategic places in those communities, Highland Park, Hamtramck, The Points, Detroit, so that this same information can still get to them because they are a part of Wayne County too. So I hope you all are kind of gleaning my approach to the work, and trying to make sure that we're inclusive to all older adults. And last piece, I didn't put it in my written, I met with Access, and we are exploring starting a friendly caller program for older adults who are a part of our home delivered meals in the halal program, because that would give them an additional touch to diminish the isolation. And as not a precursor, but a hairy, audacious goal that we're going to explore in the next fiscal year is starting a congregate meal site to complement the halal meal program. Because to me, it makes sense that if you have a halal meal program that's home delivered, why wouldn't it have a congregate meal site too? We have it for all the other programs, so they're very excited about being a part of that, exploring that. So I've been kind of busy, but I'm enjoying myself.
I'm excited about what you're doing.
I'm enjoying myself. I want to thank you all for your support, your friendliness, and your openness to meet with me. I know I've been trying to get on folks' calendars. So I said, well, I'm just keep on plunking along. I got all year to meet everybody for the first time and sit and listen and share.
Commissioner Baidoon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, for the presentation. I will offer and employ my language skills with this beautiful program. Have a heart, give a heart. I will personalize the message in Spanish. Tener un corazón, dar un corazón. In Arabic, لديك قلب, أعطي القلب. And in French, avoir un cœur, donner un cœur. I'm ready to personalize the message in 3 different languages and deliver it with you.
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic.
Yes.
I knew you were smart, but I didn't know you had all of these languages. That's wonderful.
That is
Thank you.
beautiful. And you made me remember, we have the opportunity, if you would like to deliver hearts during this time, as you see, our delivery time period will be between now and February 28th. Our team would be happy to schedule a time for you to go out and deliver hearts in your district, or if they're not, and also align you with those of the commissioners who work and represent areas in DAAA, working with DAAA, that you can be a part of when they deliver their hearts. Because they came to the big make yesterday, and we're shooting for like the 17th when we will drop off about 2,000 hearts that they need to deliver for their program.
So you've made all the hearts now?
No, we haven't made all the hearts. We
okay.
need some more hearts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And just to let you know, organizations who've donated hearts already, Access made 200 Arabic hearts. Wayne State did 600 yesterday. First Institutional Baptist Church in Detroit, they dropped off 720 yesterday. My sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, is committed to 1,000. Zeta Phi Beta, I talked with Leslie Smith, Leslie Wilson, she's not in your chapter, she's here, but she's in another chapter. They're gonna bring some. All of the undergraduate students on Wayne State's campus, all of the Greek organizations, they've all committed to making 100, but I need more hearts.
Okay, all right, well,
So you
very-
can make hearts in your office. We have extra paper out at Senior Services that I would happily deliver, that you can make a heart. But it's very simple, just like how I folded a piece. Some people fold a piece of paper and make a card, and others get fancy and do like what we did when we were little kids and, make
Yeah,
this,
well,
make
it
a
might
heart.
be even something that students would like to do. So
Yes.
I will
Yes, we had
check
some
with my
schools
schools.
do it as well in
Okay.
Dearborn. So it's a fun project, but again, as you see, it heightens awareness that Wayne County is providing these services and that we can help you and that we're here and that we care as well.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna get you. Commissioner McCormick. I know, but I was gonna catch
I
you
don't-
before
I
she
feel
took
like-
All right,
off.
thank you. Just a quick question to the congregate sites. Is there transportation involved in helping any of the seniors get out to those?
Yes, at some of our sites around the county, there's transportation that they utilize either from their senior living facility or they use their transit that's available in their city to bring them there. Because I did notice that there was a little I call them the little smaller bus, the shuttle bus to drop someone off. And they only was like one or two people coming, but still they came into the congregate meal that day in Romulus.
Okay,
You're welcome.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. Any more questions? All right, well, thank you so much, Mrs. Davis.
Thank you.
I'm excited about what you're doing, so
Thank you.
just keep on going.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Next item, please.
2, general update and review top priorities for the Division of Veteran Affairs from Kwesi Betsarai, Division Director.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here.
All right, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yes. And I'm glad to know that you and Mrs. Davis is going to work together with the veterans and seniors, because we have a lot of them that are seniors. I do birthday cards to all of my constituents, but I find that it's my seniors who will send me a little note saying, thank you for thinking of me, So seniors really do. Yes, they really appreciate it, Yeah. All right, thank you.
No, that was a great, I was fired up.
Yes.
After listening to her, and we talked about some partnering opportunities. And when she mentioned making hearts, I said, I don't know a lot of guys that, men are gonna make hearts, but I do know some people who may be interested. I will meet with them tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And it's Volunteers of America, and that's a residence for veterans.
Okay.
And I think I could probably talk them into it tomorrow night to see if they can contribute, because there's a little bit of competition there. So if I can get them to be very competitive, channel some of that military competitiveness into it, I'm able to get some hearts. So that's exciting, and it's a worthwhile effort. So
That is.
it's encouraging to hear somebody else has got that fire for the county
Yes,
services. So
and
it's
that's what we
good.
need,
Yes, we do. We do. So I just want to come and give just an update on the Veteran Services Department. As everybody knows, we're comfortable in our new location on 400 Monroe Street. I really enjoy the spot. It seems like we're getting an awful lot of residual traffic from the Treasurer's Office, the Deeds Office, and just the general business that's in the International Office Building, because we have our signs there at the ground floor. So that leads to a lot of curiosity, which is good. Some of those folks we can actually help. Some of them just take the information, because some of them think we're the Veteran Affairs, the federal government. But we kind of steer them if they have a question for that, give them some guidance on that, and to give them information about what services we offer, and then they can usually generate some phone calls and some follow-ups after that. I'll say our hours of operation is still 8 to 4:30. We have an extended day on Wednesday. I've been there on the Wednesday nights. We do not have an awful lot of traffic on that night, and that could just be because most traffic in that building has slowed off roughly by 5 o'clock. So we'll take another look at.
And people may not know that the hours that you have now, but that's something we could put in our newsletters also.
Right.
Yeah.
We can develop that. But I was there last night, so, let's see, staffing. So back in December, we moved one teammate to another area, and then I lost another teammate as a result of that move. So that put me at a disadvantage staffing-wise. But with that disadvantage, provided an opportunity for me to go ahead and take a look at the person who left, and maybe we've repurposed that role. So as a result, we already had the funding that you guys provided, the county commission, for an outreach coordinator. So we took the role from the person who resigned, and we created 2 positions. Those positions were posted, I believe this morning, as community services supervisor. And those roles would be essentially 2 positions that provide outreach, right?
Okay.
I found that the staff that I have in office right now, they have enough work, but my goal is to make sure I have enough people going out there, community services supervisor, providing outreach. So I can jump on all those opportunities to get out there to speak and provide visibility, awareness, and education about the department. So it's our expectation as we're aggressively taking resumes, applications to get somebody hired. I don't know how fast it'll move, but I'm targeting mid-March. That's a concerted effort from the HR department and the CEO's office.
Is that online?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, this is an example of it. It was an email that went out this morning to everybody. The job description right there. So it's posted, it's a GAA position, 2 GAA positions, and then we'll have some further discussions about the department manager role. And the overall intent for me is to restructure how the office operates. My goal is to make sure that everyone in that office is able to go out and do outreach. I don't want anybody to get comfortable sitting in the office because the clients are all across Wayne County. I want us to be ready to go serve, right? And I want everybody to get those lessons to understand what the conditions are of the veterans in Wayne County. And you get a snapshot of it in the office, but you get a much defined focus of what it is out there in the field, as I would call it. So that's my goal, is to make sure we repurpose, restructure that office to make sure that we can respond to what the veterans need. And I just recently completed a Excel spreadsheet detailing where the services were offered in each community. And if any of the commissioners would like that, I've got it, and I can just
Yes,
shoot you
we'd
some
love to
digital
have that.
digital copy of it. Right.
Yes.
Of course, Detroit is the largest because we have the largest population. And but I will make sure after this meeting, I'll shoot you a copy of that document.
Okay, and would you, send it, so that, all 15, commissioners can get it?
Sure. Yep. I'll stop outside there and make sure I get everybody's address.
Chair, because we talked about the senior citizen,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that information are end of the county, drive to Detroit, know where the location, phone number.
Okay. One thing I forgot to mention about the staffing piece, and so in these roles that I posted, I have a component that I have a veterans preference on there, so I'll waive some of the requirements if the veteran has served active duty time and had some leadership time. So that's a large component for those 2 roles that I have open right now. And again, it's my thought that if it's a veteran, they'll have more empathy and more drive to serve the veteran community, so.
Okay.
Outreach is primarily focused on the director level, for me going out and talking to the public. Partially because I have a smaller staff right now, but once I get staffed again, I'll have them all go out. But right now, it's all on me because I don't want to compromise the service in the office. And so what does that mean? It's really about me getting out there, again, providing visibility, awareness, and education to as many people as possible. And I'll just stay, again, on that topic about having a smaller staff. So what does that mean for me? That means that I'm answering phone calls in the office. I'm taking clients at the front desk. And the end result of that is that I'm getting smarter and understanding the needs of those veterans and figuring out where we have gaps and what type of resources I can get for them or where I can push these veterans and their families to get those resources they need to become whole, if you will. So, so the next part of that is just our outreach plan and our targeted satellite office. So I've been in some negotiations with the Downriver Community Conference. We had a couple dry runs, a soft rollout of having veteran service or a social service specialist go out and serve the Downriver community. We had some success with that, so much so that we want to go ahead and secure a larger space in that facility. So we're currently right now in negotiations for the pricing and the square footage, and we're having the county take a look at those contracts right now. But it's our goal to be in that space before Memorial Day. So we'll probably do a soft rollout in that location, Downriver Community Conference in Southgate. But that won't be the only location we look at. So again, that's why we have those 2 personnel that will be able to go out and serve other areas of Wayne County. I did have a conversation the last month with Commissioner Anderson, and he offered the Westland location. I did visit that location, I think maybe in November of last year, and the space was small for what we need and did not provide a level of privacy for what I feel the clients should get. So I want to make sure that it matches any satellite office that I have. It should manage or match what I have already in existence. I do not want to compromise as I go out. I want to make sure that it's accessible, it's safe, it's modern, Wi-Fi capability, and it's low cost, right? So I want to make sure I have all these components in place before I look at another location. So that's what I'm focused on as far as the outreach is concerned. And then we started talking about how to increase the visibility. And part of that, after I leave this commission, I'm going to have a conversation with my department accountant, if you will, just to talk about where the monies are for advertising. And so I'm having some really good conversations with the communications director about how do we increase that visibility through some advertising. And that's part of our budget. And so we also have a social media presence, and that's partially through Wayne County's Facebook page and the Veteran Services Facebook page, and some other social media activities. And so we're also refining our website. Our goal is to make sure we have some of the forms accessible to the website when people go to our website, so that they don't have to make unnecessary trips to our office first. And so we're working on a couple things with the IT department to streamline some of those processes and automate them as much as we can. So those are some of the things that we're doing in our office, and it's never a dull moment. Before I walked over, I asked one of the teammates in the office to share a story with me about how we're going above and beyond to help the clients. There was one client that came in and they wanted some repairs on their vehicle, but they also had an opportunity to get some shelter assistance or some rent assistance. They were transitioning from a friend's couch, and we provided not just a down payment for the new apartment, but also a few months' rent, and we also provided some furniture for that veteran so that we can provide them that stability to again, get back on their feet. And it was funny because the client thanked the social service specialist and said, "I'm going to send you a Christmas card, and I'm going to send you cards all the time. Thank you so much." But she didn't know that was possible. She didn't believe it was possible to get that type of help. And she was, I think, just looking for transportation, but we gave her much more. We gave her the stability of some housing. And so that is the focus. It's a customer service orientation, and we really want to over-deliver it. Every time they walk in that office, that's our goal, is to make sure we make those veterans and their families whole when we can. So, and again, I've been in this role for a few months now, and I'll tell you, it is overwhelming at times. It makes me extremely happy to share stories like that, to take those phone calls and listen to those stories and help fill that gap for those veterans. So it's definitely a worthwhile effort. And like Ms. Davis said, I'm looking forward to partnering with her in the Senior Services Department. I'm scheduling some opportunities with the Treasurer's Office for Veterans Day, Veterans Month. So we're looking at other opportunities to go out and get the word out and make sure we meet the veterans where they are and take care of them.
Wow. This is exciting today,
It
I
is. Yes,
tell you.
thanks. I
So,
tell you.
wow, that is wonderful.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you for all that you are doing and your staff. And it sounds like the staff is doing some different things now than they had been doing, just sitting in the office.
Right.
Waiting for them to come.
It's an opportunity-rich environment. And along the way, so I'm making sure I provide opportunities for them to grow as well. So there's some development opportunities for me with the staff to make sure that they're engaged in their careers, right? And to provide opportunities for them to grow in that space that they're in. And I'm just looking at ways to take care of the staff to make sure that they're happy so that happiness will be spilled over into the clients, right?
Very good.
And it also is contagious throughout the county. So, as you know, you want as many healthy, happy Wayne County employees as possible. So I'm committed to making that happen as well.
Yes, indeed. Any questions you two may have?
Great job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Compliment him. I met with him at his office.
okay.
And I see certain activity and action going in that department. And today I was happy to hear from Mrs. Davis. At least we know things are moving in the right direction. I want to thank you both for the job well done.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much for
welcome.
being here. Look forward to continuing working with you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, this was just exciting. So, Madam Clerk,
E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
none that I know of.
Public comments.
Public comments? Anyone wishing to make public comments? Anyone wishing to make public comments? So I don't see anyone in the public. Next item.
Adjournment.
It's been moved and supported. Meeting is adjourned. And again, I thank everyone for being